So when these guys saw that the tents started to tear off and wear out, they started to build a lot of shacks or corrugated iron so that they could have proper shelter. So the first section of Soweto was in 1903 in Clefstrait, Pimville, and was an informal settlement due to the bubonic plague. The first formal settlement, when I'm informal, I mean the first brick houses to be built here in Soweto, they were built in 1934. So from the grey structure, stretching your eyes towards the two towers over there, that's an area known as Orlando East. Orlando East was built finally after the government decided to donate funds so that proper houses could be built here in Soweto, and they started building houses in Orlando East. Do you guys know which section of Soweto is this one?
No.
Oh, Orlando West. That deserves a nice cold beer, man. Right? This is Orlando West, right? Orlando West was established 10 years later after Orlando East in the early 1940s, and we're very proud to say that today Orlando West serves as the most famous district or the most famous section of Soweto, because here in Orlando West we've housed the two Nobel Peace Prize winners in form of the late Nelson Mandela and the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. So it has never happened anywhere in the world in the history of Nobel Peace Prize winners to find two of them living in the same street. So later on, I believe your driver's going to take you to Vilakazi Street so that you can stop at the house of the late Nelson Mandela and the house of the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Right? And it was here in Orlando West in 1976 when the students finally decided to take a stand against the apartheid government that had introduced Afrikaans as a medium of all instruction. So later on, we are going to get an opportunity to stop at the Hector Peterson Memorial Site to learn more about the uprising of 1976. And we're famous for music as well here in Orlando West. We've produced the first Grammy Award winner coming out of Africa, was produced here in Orlando West, and her name is the late Miriam Makeba, or Mama Africa. Have you ever heard the name Miriam Makeba?
Yes.
Famous for the click song, right? She wasn't born here, but her music career took flight here in Orlando West, and we're very proud to say that when she passed on in 2008, she passed on as a Grammy Award winner. And she's not the only one. The world famous song to date was also composed here in Soweto in Orlando West, and the name of the song is Imbube. Ever heard of the song known as Imbube? You had to put me on the spot. Right, for me not to expose my terrible voice, you guys can help me by clapping, right? Still recovering from last night, so my voice is not as good as it should be. Imbube, ah, Imbube, ah, Imbube, ah, Imbube, mama, Imbube, ah, Imbube, ah, Imbube, ah, Imbube, mama. So you guys know the song was what? I wear my way or the lion sleeps tonight?
Yeah.
The lion sleeps, I wear my way. Alright, I thought you guys also know it as the lion sleeps tonight. Because I always tell people that in Africa lions don't sleep, right? You see a lion, you run as fast as you can. Right? We're very proud to say that this song was composed here in Soweto in Orlando West in 1939 by a gentleman known as Solomon Linda, who composed the song under a recording label known as the Gala Records. Unfortunately, the Gala Records sold the song to an American museologist and was retitled I Wear My Way in 1957, made famous by the movie The Lion King, right? Unfortunately, when Solomon Linda passed on in 1962, he died as a pauper, even though his song was internationally known. So it was finally after a year ago that royalties were paid to their three daughters. They paid about 130 million rand for the work of their father. I know it's a lot of money. I started to look for them on Facebook, they're nowhere to be found, right? I wanted a piece of those royalties as well, right? So we're very proud to say that through music, Soweto has been put to the international map. Soweto today has got about 38 sections from the original 3 sections. So as far as your eyes could take you around here, this is just still a small part of Soweto. With our population sitting at a staggering 3.5 to about 5 million people who call Soweto home. The 3.5 would be us, the born and bred of Soweto, and the rest of the 1.5 is people coming from different homelands and countrysides to come and seek labor in Johannesburg. But most of them prefer to come and live here because it's cheaper rather than pay expensive mortgage in the city center. Right? Do you guys have any questions up to this far? Alright, just quickly I'm going to show you the landmarks of Soweto. And the tallest landmark that we have is those two towers over there. Those towers were built in 1910 to generate electricity, but not here in Soweto, but to the city center of Johannesburg, right? So people across here had to inhale all the smoke, while people in Johannesburg got their electricity. But today those towers no longer work as a power supply, but they work as a home for adrenaline junkies. So if you think you're courageous enough, that's where we do the bungee jumping, right? You can see there's a bridge in between there. Those towers are 100 meters tall, and when I did the jump, it took me about 3.5 seconds to drop, and that was the longest 3.5 seconds of my life, right? Promise myself not to do it again, right? So those towers today, they stand as the tallest landmark across here. And the second landmark that we have is the grey structure there. The grey structure is known as the Orlando Stadium. Orlando Stadium is the home ground of a soccer team here in Soweto, known as Orlando Pirates. Right? The stadium was built in 1956, not looking like that. It got an opportunity to be renovated for the 2010 World Cup, but not used as a fixture ground. But countries like Italy and Spain got an opportunity to train on those facilities. And for the first time here in Soweto in South Africa, witnessed to see the sexy Colombian Shakira singing that Waka Waka song during the opening concert of the World Cup, which was hosted in those facilities. So today it stands as a landmark as well. Right? And the last landmark that we have is nicknamed the Soweto Table Mountains. Those mountains that you see across there, that's evidence of gold discovered in Johannesburg, right? Those are not natural mountains, those are man-made. We had over 200 of these surrounding Johannesburg, but a lot of them today are coming down in form of new residential areas or new tarred roads, right? And finally, before we proceed, I'm going to have to teach you how to survive here in Soweto. And the easiest way to survive around here is just to learn the language, right? Yeah. Here in South Africa, we've got 11 official languages. How many languages do you speak, Nick? I know that. We've got 11 official languages, but the dominant language is Zulu. So if you want to say hello in Zulu to one person, you say Sawubona. Sawubona. Sawubona, and the response is Yebo. Yebo. So Sawubona, Yebo. Right? To two or more people, you say Sanibonani. Sanibonani, and the response is still Yebo. Sanibonani, and the response is still Yebo, right? But I think we should just stick to Sanibonani because there's 5 million of us here. So you're bound to meet 2 or more people, right? So it's Sanibonani, Yebo. And the easiest way to remember that, just think of the sun and the bananas, but you don't say sunny banana. You say Sanibonani. Right? Sanibonani. Sanibonani. And the response is Yebo, right?